There is a war being waged. It is fought not with armies on a distant battlefield, but in the silent, invisible landscape of your own mind. This is not a war you will ever see on the news, yet it is the most important one you will ever fight. It is the daily struggle against the relentless forces of self-doubt, the seductive whisper of procrastination, and the corrosive voice of the inner critic that insists you are not enough. This is a war for your peace, a war for your purpose, and a war for your fundamental right to live a life of deep and lasting fulfillment. Perhaps for too long, you have felt like a soldier on the losing side, pushed back by the ceaseless advance of anxiety and negative thought. But I am here to tell you a fundamental truth. You are not a mere soldier in this fight. You are the commander. You are the strategist. You are the rightful sovereign of your inner world. In this audiobook, you will learn the art of mental warfare. You will not learn to simply cope. You will learn to conquer. We will identify your inner enemies, dissect their tactics, and arm you with the strategies that lead to decisive victory. You will discover that the war in your mind is not a life sentence to be endured, but a winnable campaign waiting for a commander to lead it. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. Sun Tzu. To win any war, you must first know your enemy. Not as a vague, shadowy feeling, but as a tangible adversary with a predictable playbook. In the war for your mind, the most dangerous enemies are not external. They are the saboteurs within your own ranks, masquerading as your own rational thoughts. This is the most insidious of the saboteurs, the voice of relentless judgment. It's the voice that whispers, "You're not smart enough, not talented enough, not worthy enough." It magnifies every mistake into a catastrophe and dismisses every accomplishment as a fluke. Its primary weapon is shame, and its strategic objective is to keep you small, to keep you from taking the risks that lead to growth. This saboteur is the master of delay, the siren of the status quo. It is the voice that says, "I'll do it tomorrow," or "the conditions aren't quite right." It creates a convincing illusion of present-moment comfort while actively stealing your future. Its primary weapon is the myth of the perfect time, a moment that never arrives. Its goal is to keep you trapped in the paralysis of inaction. This saboteur is a specialist in the art of fear. It's the gnawing feeling that your success is unearned, that you are a fraud, and that at any moment you will be exposed. It discounts your years of hard work and attributes your achievements to mere luck or circumstance. Its primary weapon is the fear of being found out, and its goal is to prevent you from ever truly owning your power and your accomplishments. This saboteur is the voice of utter helplessness. It's the narrative that blames external circumstances, other people, or systemic unfairness for your situation. It convinces you that you are at the mercy of forces beyond your control. Its primary weapon is blame, a tool that absolves you of responsibility and in doing so strips you of your power to create change. He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened. Lao Tzu. Now that you have identified the enemy, you must adopt a new doctrine for mental combat. A soldier without a doctrine is a pawn. A commander with a doctrine can turn the tide of any war. These 4 principles are your new code of conduct. They are simple, they are powerful, and they are effective immediately. Your first command is to observe. Your thoughts are not you, and they are not objective reality. They are mental events, like clouds passing in the sky. When a negative thought appears, you do not engage, you do not suppress, and you do not panic. You simply notice. You will say to yourself, "There is a thought of self-doubt," or "There is a feeling of anxiety." This simple act of detached observation creates a critical gap between you and the thought. In that gap, your power resides. Once you have observed a thought, you will label it. This is not an act of judgment, it is an act of classification. Is it the inner critic on the attack? Is the procrastinator deploying its usual delay tactics? By labeling the thought, you neutralize its emotional charge. You are reminding yourself that this is a predictable, impersonal tactic, not a personal truth. You shift from being a participant in the drama to a strategist observing a pattern. A wise general knows that not every battle is worth fighting. When you find yourself caught in a spiral of unproductive, negative thinking, the most powerful move is often a strategic redeployment of your focus. This is not suppression. It is a conscious command to change your mental terrain. Get up, go for a walk, put on loud music, change your physical state to interrupt your mental state. You are denying the enemy the one thing it needs to survive, your attention. Your mind is a garden, and you are its sole gatekeeper. You must become ruthless about what you allow to be planted. This doctrine is about seizing control of your mental diet. Unfollow the social media accounts that fuel your envy. Stop doom-scrolling the news that feeds your anxiety. Actively and aggressively seek out the information that nourishes your mind. Read books that inspire you. Listen to podcasts that educate you. Surround yourself with people who empower you. When you starve the negative, the positive has no choice but to flourish. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Doctrine is defense. Strategy is offense. It is time to stop reacting to the enemy and start shaping the battlefield. These 4 mental models are your strategic playbook. They are the advanced maneuvers that will allow you to anticipate your opponent, set the terms of engagement, and launch decisive counteroffensives. Most people ask, how can I achieve success? The master strategist asks, what could guarantee my failure? This is the powerful mental model of inversion. Instead of chasing a vague notion of success, you will clearly identify every potential pitfall, every self-sabotaging impulse, and every obstacle that stands in your way. Then, you systematically design a plan to avoid or neutralize each one. You win not by blindly running toward success, but by methodically eliminating the possibility of failure. You will construct a fortress within your mind, a citadel that external events cannot touch. The Stoics taught a simple, profound truth. You cannot control the world, but you can always control your response to it. You cannot control the economy, the weather, or the actions of others. You can control your thoughts, your judgments, and your actions. This fortress is not built of stone, but of perspective. You build its walls every time you choose to focus on what is within your power and let go of what is not. Every engagement, win or lose, becomes a source of intelligence. This is the core of the growth offensive. When you succeed, you analyze the victory, what worked, and how can it be replicated. When you face a setback, you do not see it as a personal failure, but as critical enemy intel. You ask, what lesson is this defeat teaching me? And how does this make me a stronger commander? Under this strategy, there are no losses, only strategic lessons that guarantee future victories. Your mind is a storytelling machine, and for too long, the saboteurs have been the authors, casting you as the victim, the fraud, or the failure. Narrative superiority is the art of seizing control of that story. You are the author now. You are the editor. You hold the pen. Was that a failure, or was it a courageous experiment? Was that a devastating setback, or was it the necessary setup for a legendary comeback? The commander who controls the narrative controls the war. Strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. Tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. Sun Tzu. A strategy is only as good as its execution. In the heat of battle, you need more than ideas. You need reliable weapons and impenetrable armor. These 4 tools are your mental arsenal. They are not abstract concepts. They are practical, effective techniques to be deployed the moment an inner saboteur launches an attack. This is your primary offensive weapon against the inner critic. When the voice of self-doubt attacks, you will not meet its harshness with more force. You will meet it with the disarming power of compassion. You will treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a trusted friend who is struggling. Acknowledge the difficulty without judgment. Self-compassion is not a sign of weakness or an excuse. It is a strategic counterattack that starves the critic of the conflict it craves, disarming it with radical empathy. This is your essential defensive tool. When the arrows of anxiety about the future or regret about the past begin to fly, you will raise this shield. Mindfulness is the art of anchoring yourself in the present moment. You will bring your full attention to the feeling of your feet on the ground, the air entering your lungs, the sounds in the room. This simple, powerful act makes you an impossible target for the ghosts of yesterday and the phantoms of tomorrow. This is not passivity. It is an unbreakable defensive posture. This is your ultimate offensive weapon, the countermeasure to the paralysis of procrastination and fear. The procrastinator and the imposter thrive in the vacuum of inaction. The arrow of action is the decision to do one small, concrete thing right now to move forward. It is not a monumental leap. It is a single, well-aimed arrow. Unleash one arrow. Make one call. Write one sentence. Send one email. Action creates a cascade of clarity and momentum, a language the saboteurs of inaction simply cannot understand. This is the resilient armor you will learn to wear daily, protecting you from the corrosive effects of negativity and scarcity thinking. Gratitude is not a passive feeling. It is a conscious, deliberate practice. You will actively scan your life for evidence of what is right, no matter how small. When you are clad in this armor, the corrosive attacks of the victim and the critic cannot find purchase. They glance off powerless against the undeniable empirical evidence of the good in your world. The amateur believes he must first overcome his fear. The professional knows he must act in spite of it. Stephen Pressfield. Winning battles is one thing. Winning the war is another. Victory is not defined by a single, decisive engagement, but by the ability to establish a lasting and sustainable peace. This final, crucial chapter is about transitioning from a state of constant, active warfare to a new way of being, one defined by vigilance, quiet strength, and unwavering inner peace. No competent general ends a campaign day without a debrief. This will become your non-negotiable daily ritual of power. At the end of each day, you will take 5 minutes to strategically review your mental landscape. Where did you successfully deploy your doctrines? At what point did a saboteur gain ground? What intelligence did you gather from the engagement? This is not an exercise in self-judgment. It is an act of reinforcement. You are celebrating your tactical victories, learning from your setbacks, and preparing your strategic response for the following day. A commander does not win a war alone. They lead an army and consult with a general staff. You must now consciously forge your alliance. This means curating your inner circle with the discipline of a master strategist. Seek out mentors and allies who inspire you, who challenge your assumptions, and who hold you to a higher standard. Have the courage to limit your exposure to those who drain your energy and amplify the saboteur's narratives. Your environment is not a passive backdrop. It is a force multiplier. Shape it to your strategic advantage. The final and most powerful act of victory in the war for your mind is not the total annihilation of your enemies. It is the signing of a peace treaty. This is the treaty of self-acceptance. It is the profound understanding that the saboteurs may never be completely silent, but they will never again be in command. It is the acceptance of your imperfections, not as character flaws, but as part of your unique human journey. It is the unconditional belief in your own worth, not because you are flawless, but because you are resilient, because you are a learner, and because you are and always will be the commander of your own mind. This is the ultimate victory. This is the foundation of your unshakable peace. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. Ronald Reagan. You have journeyed through the battlefield of your own mind. You have dragged the saboteurs into the light. You have adopted a new doctrine of mental combat, deployed advanced strategies, and learned to wield the weapons of a true inner warrior. The war in your mind is not a life sentence. It was only ever a campaign, waiting for its rightful commander. You have everything you need. The war is won not when the enemy falls silent forever, but when you know with unshakable certainty that you are in command. You are the commander. You are the strategist. You are the sovereign of your inner world. Now, step into your power. Step into your peace. Step into your victory.